That means we can commence.
Yum. Well, all right. In this episode of the Red Eye Report, we discuss I fucked it up already.
God damn it.
Fucking all that work. In this episode of the Red Eye Report, we discuss adaptations. We find a better way to piss away our lives, and as usual, we butter our own goddamn biscuits. With me this week is the fluffy teddy bear. Teddy isn't a big fan of this show, right? You hate this show, don't you?
I love this
The show, the very show you helped
Shows
create.
up every
because
week.
it doesn't-
Fucking hate it.
You fucking hate it because it just doesn't follow the comic. We've also got
the comic.
Ashtray isn't worried about adaptations. He stays true to the values and morals that have shaped his existence: drugs and dancing.
Yes.
Then there's the all-seeing Oracle. A lot of people don't know this, but he was the first man in America to adapt a pornographic film into a Broadway play. If you can't come in her, come on her. Hasn't quite hit the heights of popularity that was expected, but it's catching on.
Featuring my grandma.
Last and least,
Nana Oracle.
the only thing I've ever adapted was a hot dog into a hot log, and this is the Red Eye Report.
Nice.
And somehow it got bigger.
Right? Gross. All right, so an adaptation obviously is just a work of, I guess it doesn't have to be fiction, a work of a creation and of art made into something else, right? Adapted from that thing.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with films. That's the most obviously adapted thing, is from books to films.
Yeah.
And books, I assume they're the most popular because, for one, they're fucking, there's so many of them, but two, it's
So many
different in
books.
everybody's head. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're the one that
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Before we get into this topic.
about Philippe the Badger, the undocumented badger, said here by Greg Abbott on the last bus to
One-way
North. Shit. But anyway, he needs help, man. He's from Honduras.
If nobody's ever
Honduran
heard that
badger.
segment before, they're so fucking confused right now. They're just like, what the fuck? Philippe the Badger? Like, what the fuck is
What
this?
kind of adaptation is he? Don't worry about it, baby.
All right, this is our
Hey.
pause for the cause.
Hey, white folks love them animals.
This is where we benefit
Especially-
an animal at the Dane County Humane Society. So
Here we go. Philippe.
dchs.org, probably. I don't know what it is. All right. The first film adaptation is widely regarded as Cinderella in 1899. It was obviously based on a Brothers Grimm tale. And it was made into a short film, only about 30 seconds.
1899?
I was going to say, damn.
Yep. Oh, no,
Jesus.
that was 45 seconds. The 1900 film Sherlock Holmes Baffled was obviously created from Sherlock Holmes, Arthur Conan Doyle's famous character. That was a 30-second film intended to be shown like using a mutoscope, one of those fucking hand crank things.
Sure.
Can you imagine that shit, like sitting there, like being like, "This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen."
So why were they 30 seconds long? Is it just that,
Because
Yeah,
nobody
obviously
was
back
doing
then.
it back
Yeah.
then. It was probably so
Yeah,
expensive
back then,
to
yeah.
make.
The film was probably super expensive. The
Yeah.
fucking everything was probably super expensive.
I mean,
Right? Let alone, like, you ran it for 30 seconds before the film burnt. Like, remember how easily they
that's
would
true.
melt
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
projectors
reels,
back
yeah.
then?
Right.
That was made. This was made by a guy, a Frenchman named George something. Millet.
George something. George.
So in 1902, he made an original sci-fi feature called A Trip to the Moon. It was based loosely on two popular novels at the time, Jules Verne from The Earth to the Moon and H.G. Wells' The First Men in the Moon. So then there was another, Snow White was adapted in 1902, but the earliest surviving copy is from 1916. and I looked for these. There's no surviving copies of these fucking things. Like these are 120 some years old.
Right, but there is that kind of iconic image. I know I've seen this, or at least a reference to this, for that trip to the moon, that creepy ass fucking.
Oh, they're in the top hats, and they're like,
I don't know. This guy's got some
moon.
spaceship in his fucking eye.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the moon had a face.
Mm-hmm.
So the first feature-length film to be shot entirely in Hollywood, or adaptation, was Cecil B. DeMille's The Squaw Man, and it was based on some book by Edwin Milton Royal. Never fucking heard of the book. So yeah, we all know what adaptations are. So let's talk about the biggest ones. What do you guys think is the biggest film adaptation of all time?
Well, shit. I mean, you got the I think the biggest adaptation is probably from book to film, because it's always classic stories start on books, right? And go to film.
I'm sorry, what'd you say? I'm sorry, I was looking something up. What'd you say? I didn't hear you.
You fucking bastard. I'd say, like, all these adaptations, for the most part, are probably always adaptations of book stories to film.
Yeah.
Right? Because all the classics started.
Absolutely. So, like, let's go just by what do you think the highest grossing?
Highest grossing?
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings.
That's a good.
Say a Marvel.
It's up there. It is up there.
Yeah, that's definitely up there.
Gone with the Wind for its
Gone
time.
with
I think,
the Wind,
was
but
huge.
maybe it probably didn't make that much money compared to modern movies, right?
No, it's not even close. Gone with the Wind is. I haven't
for its
seen
time.
Is it a movie or a TV series?
77. Gone with the Wind is 77. It made $390 million.
Well, I believe it was, though, based off of a novel.
It was, yes. These are all everything.
Yeah. Okay.
The top 100
adaptations.
I don't know. What is it?
You're probably not going to get it.
Yeah,
not going to get the biggest one.
It's Jurassic World from 20.
Taylor Swift.
Jurassic World?
The Michael Crichton. It was a good book.
Jurassic Park is number 6, the original one that made over $1 billion.
But the biggest was Jurassic World.
1.7 billion. Yeah.
Holy shit!
The Chris Pratt one, right?
No, Jurassic World. Oh, really?
Yeah, Chris
that was
Pratt,
Jurassic World.
Man.
Yeah.
Fucking Chris Pratt, man. He's like he's the new Dwayne Rock Johnson. They just throw him in there and fucking make.
No, he's not.
Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Then Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is number 3 at 1.3 billion.
Man, those movies do well, huh?
And number 4 is Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King, which is the third one, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that was the last one. Yeah.
That was 1.2. Now this number 5 is somewhat of a surprise because I mean I know it's adapted from books, but Skyfall.
Oh, really? The James Bond movie.
Oh,
Number 5.
Yeah.
Oh.
Way more than I expected. Yeah. So I mean, I'm not going to go. The top 20 is just peppered with fucking Harry Potter and The Hobbit and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Others,
They're all
yeah.
just enormous fucking IPs and shit.
I'm gonna say, like, some of the big. Okay, I guess I could try to think of some that might be on the list. The Great Gatsby. I mean, that's been adapted in at least 2, maybe 3 films.
Yeah.
Because I remember there was one from like the 70s or something.
Yeah.
Right,
Again,
we watched in school.
so it's not gonna be like I'm down past Gone with the Wind.
And then wasn't
Leo did one. Yeah.
Leo did a great. I never saw that one.
That was actually fun.
Yeah, you're right. It was. Yeah, that's not even on the top 100.
I'm trying to think of other great.
The Hunger Games.
Okay, I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's these young adults,
How about
they
that,
got so much disposable income.
What was that movie? Ready Player One. Is that on that?
Oh.
Yeah, it's number 45.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. How to Train Your Dragon. That was a book. Weird.
That was a book. Wow.
There's so that's the
that's the thing too. Is
like,
almost
point.
so many movies. You could even say Fight Club. That was an adaptation. You
Yeah.
know, like,
Wait, what? Yeah, it was an adaptation.
when you're talking about like basically taking a novel and turning it into a movie.
I mean,
but
yeah.
I guess I'm thinking more of like classic.
But
actually, where's Fight Club? Yeah, it's not even in the top 100.
Catch-22. They made that into a movie, and then a recent Hulu series.
Yeah.
That was a classic novel.
I guess though, if you're gonna make a movie and there is like a book that already has a fan base, maybe you're not gonna please them necessarily 100%.
50 Shades of Grey. That might be up there.
So, although The Great Gatsby is 89. So it made 353 million.
What 50 Shades of Grey? That was a book.
Oh yeah, that's fucking way up there.
It's probably up there with making money.
Right.
All those
and that's the thing.
Lonely women.
If that was not an adaptation, it probably wouldn't have done nearly as well. But people are like, oh shit, this is.
Well, I mean, all these books have a fan base.
Because
Right.
It's a ready-made fan base.
Exactly.
Which brings me to the whole point of this, I guess, is why are we remaking movies when there are so many books out there
Right.
that can be adapted into movies? Like I don't even read, and I can think of 10 right off the fucking top of my head that would fucking either series or movies.
Because they're known quantities, and like existing movies are known quantities, and nobody wants to take fucking risks anymore.
Sure.
Studio wise, they're all fucking, they're measured. Or it's like now speaking of Hunger Games, is it a new movie or a new series that was like a prequel or something?
New movie came out recently.
It was a prequel, yeah.
It was a movie?
Yep.
Okay. Now I wonder, is that prequel actually based off of novels by the original author?
It's based off of, it is.
Okay, there was a prequel novel. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's weird thing too, is like Star Wars is kind of a reverse thing, right? Because there's a lot of novels.
There's a lot of novels after the movies after and intertwined in between the movies.
Oh my god, you guys are just unruly. Is all there is to it.
Somebody's got to control this episode.
So obviously, you're doing a fucking great job. So obviously we know all about the movies. Teddy, video games. What do you think is the best video game adaptation? Highest grade?
I think it's gonna be Resident Evil.
Resident Evil is an adaptation?
You think Resident Evil is
Resident Evil was a game originally.
Oh, so we're doing like a movie adaptation of the game? Is that the?
Yeah, sorry, game.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, video game. Yeah. Well, that's not Mario. I guess not Mario Brothers, was it? The new Mario Brothers was that?
The new Mario Brothers made $1.3 billion.
Yeah.
It is by far the biggest. It's actually made $1 billion, almost more than number 2.
Wow.
That's one of those things like I didn't realize, but my brother took all his kids to it, and it's like, okay, that makes sense. A lot of people.
And the thing is it was actually a good movie.
It was a good movie, yeah.
Yeah.
That helps.
Number 2 was Pokemon, Detective Pikachu. Number 3, Warcraft. Number 4, Rampage. Number 5, Uncharted, which I thought would be higher because
Rampage was number 4. I mean, what the movie sucked.
Right.
Is it because it had The Rock in it?
Yep, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Dwayne Johnson. He'll bring the money
Uncharted was pretty mediocre.
It's the geared microphone in my head is going in and out. Is it doing it for anybody else?
We can hear you fine, but
I can hear you fine.
You're not cutting out for us.
No, miss it. Okay, well, yeah. Great. Never mind.
All right. So, I mean, we all know how video games are not. I feel because there's already a visual element to video games, they're so much harder to adapt. It's like comic books. People want exactly what the comic book was when it's an adaptation.
Right.
Change
to
it.
follow the comic.
Point. Right, Teddy?
Teddy knows.
Go fuck yourselves. We're talking about it, aren't we?
Well, it was like that Cowboy Bebop adaptation, that Netflix series.
Which is awesome.
You thought that was awesome? I thought that was horrible, that adaptation.
Probably because it followed the comic for Teddy.
Yeah, that's the thing, is it tried to follow it too closely, and it was soulless. Like it didn't have
No. It didn't try to follow ghosts. It fucked up. I thought it was good. I mean, they fucked up Vicious. They made him to a bitch and all this other shit. It was that was kind of and they intertwined some of the stories. But I mean, the set pieces and the people.
Was
I mean,
he a cock in the comic? What's the difference?
No, he was just an evil. He was just an evil fuck. And this when they turned him into like a bitchy little woman hitter.
Make him an incel.
His name is Vicious, but yeah.
We're gonna go the other way now. I was like, what movies have been made into books? So Heat. Remember the Heat from 1995?
Yeah, the bank robbery.
Oh yeah, fucking what's
Val
his name?
Kilmer.
Val Kilmer and
Val Kilmer.
Yeah,
Al Pacino.
Val Kilmer
was in it.
And who was the other guy? Because there was a rumor that they never actually shared a scene together. Because if you watch the movie, there's only like one scene where they filmed it where it's like possibly you could have a stand-in. Robert De Niro, right?
Yeah.
And Al Pacino?
Yeah, and I saw it about 30 seconds ago. But
oh, you must have cut out because I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
No, he didn't cut out. You just talked over him.
Oh, I do that.
Yeah.
So Michael Mann, the guy who made Heat, made a sequel to the fucking film in a book form in 1995.
Huh.
I'm sorry, it was released in 2022. The film was 1995, but it's not a sequel. I'm sorry, it's a prequel to the events of the film, and he plans to make a movie off that book, which is so meta. It's not even fucking funny.
Right.
Like, just make a prequel movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you making this into a book? But whatever, I get it. More money.
Now, who wrote the book?
Meg Gardner.
Was it just the writer of the original or the director?
It wasn't. There was no original. The original was a movie.
I mean, the original movie. That's what I meant.
Probably off of fanfiction.com or whatever. It's like, okay, great. Let's make a movie.
Yeah.
Here's a cash cow.
Was Alien, which I didn't know.
Yeah.
That James Cameron made a book, a sequel to Alien in book form. Probably sucks, to be honest with you. Anyway, The Omen, 1976. That was made into a book also. Blade Runner was made into a book. Because Blade Runner was on Philip K. Dick.
Yeah, that's what does it do? Android's Dream of Electric Sleep.
Okay. Yeah, so how that's
Les Martin to produce an unofficial novelization that was released in 1982. So they literally made a book of a movie that was based on a book.
Right. Although that movie is based very loosely on Philip K. Dick's book. Although, I mean, Philip K. Dick, his shit is so like batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Like you can't even.
You can easily interpret it.
Yeah, you can interpret it in so many different ways too.
Well, and then Dick's friend K.W. Jeter, he began making a series of Blade Runner novels starting in 1995. And actually, Blade Runner 2049 is based on Blade Runner 3 Replicant Night. That he wrote.
Wow.
So 2001, A Space Odyssey, that was made into a book as well.
Well, Arthur C. Clarke worked on that, right?
Arthur C. Clarke?
Yeah, didn't he work on the original? He actually worked on it with Kubrick.
Yeah. So it was based on the Sentinel, which is a Clarke work. But he did, in 1992, created a 220-page novel called 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's actually sold 3 million copies worldwide. E.T. was made into a book.
Yeah.
Which again was really kind of weird.
Yeah, kind of weird.
It was by William Coswinkle. I guess he wrote another book, a cult novel called The Fan Man.
What year did the E.T. book come out?
So I assume the same year as the movie.
Yeah.
Shortly after.
I think so.
Because I remember as a kid, I read the book Independence Day. You know, it was like, of course, they made a novel based off the movie. You know, like they do that all the time now.
Yeah, they had the movie cover on
sequel. So it's a sequel called E.T. the Book of the Green Planet. Whatever the fuck. I'm not fucking that. The Deer Hunter. You guys ever seen The Deer Hunter?
Yeah. Yep. Who was that? Scorsese?
Oh yes. Or no, Michael Cimino.
Who directed that? Okay.
Yeah. Who directed it? So it was a book written by E.M. Corder. I guess it wasn't very popular. It says the novelization fails to capture the movie's catalog of horrors. Dawn of the Dead was made into a fucking book. This has to be a graphic novel.
Well, it kind of influenced all the Walking Dead and everything that came out of that.
No, actually, originally written in 1978, Romero's novelization of his film. It was reissued in 2015. Wow, weird. I guess you gotta be a real fucking like. I don't understand reading a book based on a movie.
Well, as a kid, I did, but of course, I was a fucking nerd kid, and I just was geeking out about the movie. But yeah, nowadays as an adult, it's like,
yeah.
So obviously,
so many books.
Star Wars is number 2. Because there's just so many across,
what do you call it? Canon. They're canon.
Yeah, the first novelization was of the original film came in 1976, and actually was credited to George Lucas himself. It eventually would be revealed that it had been ghostwritten by professional novelizer Alan Dean Foster. So Timothy Zahn, Thrawn's trilogy is the most popular of them all. Has anybody ever read those? I've never read any Star Wars.
No.
Shit.
No, I got a buddy, Chris, who's read all of them. He owns them all. He's read them, but I've never read any Star Wars things.
So, number 1 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Really?
Yeah. It was written in 2021.
Number 1?
Actually, and Tarantino wrote it himself.
Oh,
it was an instant New York Times bestseller. The novel expands on the storylines of the movie and vividly paints classic Hollywood. Praised as addictively readable, the novel is a treasure chest of movie lore by way of Tarantino's trademark cinephilia and live discourse.
That would be interesting because I enjoyed that movie quite a bit.
Right. He's so good at writing dialogue. But I don't think that would translate. I don't like high dialogue books.
That's because I'm sorry. That would be insulting.
What kind of a diss was that? It'd be like, hey.
What the fuck, dude?
I just caught myself.
Oh my god, dude!
You're like, I don't like high dialogue books.
I support the trans movement. Oh, okay. Wow. You fucking high asshole.
We're not going to move on until you say it. What were you going to
Right.
It's because you're fucking retarded. I just caught myself.
Why would you be... Just say it. I don't give a shit. Retarded? You're fucking retarded. Anyway, all right.
I think it was funnier.
We're already fucking late. So, best songs inspired by movies.
What?
Songs inspired by movies.
Well, or would that be songs that come with the soundtrack of a movie?
Yeah, I was gonna say
there's a lot of those.
Is Pink Floyd anywhere on that list?
We'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get
there.
So
Bob Dylan wrote a song inspired by Psycho called Motor Psycho Nightmare in 1960. It was directly inspired by the movie, it says. Bad Moon Rising by Creedence. That was actually inspired. The fuck? What the hell is going on here?
I don't know. This show is just falling apart.
It sure is, dude.
Man.
That song was inspired by The Devil and Daniel Webster from 1941. Never heard of it.
Nope.
All right. So, Space Oddity by David Bowie was actually written about 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Okay. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Key Largo by Bertie Higgins was based on the movie of the same name from 1948. Jurassic Park by Weird Al Yankovic. That's where
I had that CD as a kid.
Yeah. So Breakfast at Tiffany's by Deep Blue Something, based on Roman Holiday from 1953, starring Audrey Hepburn. Anybody ever seen that?
Nope.
Just clips.
It's actually, I saw it in a film class. It's a good. I mean, it's a well made.
I can picture
like
the
you
cover.
see, like it's regarded because it was filmed really cinematography and everything.
So Long Astoria by the Ataris was based on the Goonies, 1985. Never heard of So Long Astoria. Anyway, Matilda by Alt J was based on Leon the Professional, which is Natalie Portman's character in Leon the Professional.
Yeah.
That's it. Sorry, Walk This Way by Aerosmith was based on. Can you guys guess?
Wait.
No,
it was based off
Wizard of
Young
Oz.
Frankenstein from 1974.
Oh, the Mel Brooks movie?
Yep. Get
Oh,
it? Walk
shit.
This Way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway.
There you go.
Right.
Hold on. Trying to
We got
open
one
this
more
up.
adaptation to pull out of our
So-
asses.
We're going to do 10 movies inspired by songs.
Oh, there you go.
So Alice's Restaurant was inspired by Alice's Restaurant Massacre by Arlo Guthrie. Never heard it or seen the movie.
No.
It's an 18-minute song. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
I
It's the
remember
only
the
point across.
I've heard the title, but I don't think I've seen.
So 2007, a movie called Across the Universe is a romantic comedy based on the same song title, Across the Universe by the Beatles.
Sure.
All right. The Gambler by Kenny Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
Literally a
No
movie.
wind to hold 'em.
Yeah.
No wind to
Dinner for
hold 'em.
Schmucks is actually, you guys remember that movie?
Yeah, I remember the movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dinner for Schmucks?
It's based off a song.
Steve Carell. Sorry.
It's based off a Beatles song called A Fool on the Hill. Yeah, it's Dinner for Schmucks is like these guys get together and they invite just the biggest, like either retard or like social reject they can find. And then they have like bring them and make fun of them basically during this dinner. And then they vote on like who brought the biggest retard thing. And that was inspired by a Beatles song.
Oh,
So that's
man. That's funny.
Factory Girl, which was inspired by Factory Girl by the Rolling Stones.
Oh, yeah.
It is about the fiery relationship between pop icons Andy Warhol and Edie Sedgwick. All right. And then The Indian Runner by Highway Patrolman by Bruce Springsteen. Or it's inspired by Highway Patrolman by Bruce Springsteen. Never seen the movie. And then, I don't know if you guys saw this movie. You ever seen the movie Ode to Billy Joe?
No.
Nope.
No.
It was actually based on a song by Bobby Gentry. It was a movie from the
Is it about
70s.
the musician Billy Joel? Oh,
No, not Billy Joe. Billy Joe.
Billy Joe, not.
Boy, they
My ode to the piano man.
they like run away and start committing crimes. It's kind of like what's that fucking song by George Miller? The George Miller is it George Miller Band? Steve Miller Band?
Steve Miller Band.
Here's
Is
a
that the
little story
Joker?
about Jack and Diane.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jack and
Yeah,
Diane.
like that's the same concept as the Ode to Billy Joe.
Right.
So The Hitcher is actually based on Riders on the Storm by The Doors.
Oh, really?
The Hitcher from the 80s. I don't know if you guys ever saw it with Rutger Hauer. Pretty fucked up movie. Scary ass movie, to be honest with you.
I like the song.
And then The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia, based on the song of the same name by Vicki Lawrence. And then this one, Brazil by Aquero do Brasil by some dude, Ari Barrasso. So it's a 1985 Terry Gilliam feat. Have you guys ever seen the movie Brazil?
It's fucking batshit crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's called Brazil.
So,
I've never seen it.
It's basically, the song is a vibrant Brazilian folk ballad, but the movie is like a dark comedy about a dystopian, like, fucking society. And I don't know how, I've never heard the song, but like, for that to be based off a song is just weird. That song's got to be fucking weird.
Right. It's got to be like some extreme jazz shit or something like
just makes sense. Because the movie made no fucking sense most of the time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right. And the last thing we're going to talk about is, I found this to be super fucking cool. Stephen King, which is the most adapted author in history, actually has what's called the Dollar Baby. It's an arrangement for people who so he retains the rights to his work, but you can buy it and create a work of it. For many of his short stories, there's like fucking, I don't even know how many.
Can you
20
say the title again of what this term is? The Dollar
Baby?
Oh,
yeah,
Dollar
Baby. For $1, he will sell you the adaptation rights to one of his short stories. And there's a couple stipulations. You can't, like, hold on, where is it? So King explained his introduction, blah, blah, blah. So he said, college students, for the most part, started writing me about the stories I'd published, first in Night Shift, later in Skeleton Crew, wanting to make short films out of them. Over the objections of my accountant, who saw all sorts of possible legal problems, I established a policy which still holds today. This is in 1977. I will grant any student filmmaker the right to make a movie out of any of my short stories I have written, not the novels. That would be ridiculous. So long as the film rights are still mine to assign. So he signs, basically he just has them sign a contract. They can make the thing, and they send him like the finished copy, and he like signs off on it. You know what I mean? Like, and then they can take it to festivals, or do whatever the fuck they want to it and shit. And he still retains the rights. He can make an adaptation if he wants. Obviously, it's his work. You know what I mean? But he'll sell it to him for $1 and let them do it. And then the biggest one, what was it? The Mist, actually.
That was the biggest one.
I read that was his favorite adaptation.
That was one of his.
Pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, where the fuck?
Really dark ending.
Yeah.
Which is probably why he's like, oh,
the movie that wasn't in the. No, The Mist. Actually, that ending was wrong. That ending wasn't.
I haven't ever read the book, but
yeah, the ending was different in the book. That ending, but he liked the ending in the movie more.
Yeah, he said it was more. He said what he thought of it. Yeah.
What he wrote, which is high praise, I fucking suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So The Boogeyman is one of them. You guys ever seen that movie?
No.
When did that come out? Is that an older Stephen King movie or?
No, it's
I think it's like 2010s. Yeah.
2013.
Yeah. Don't remember that one.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of them here. There's fucking. I've never really heard of any of them. I guess that would be the biggest one. Mute from 2020.
Sleep? Wasn't that
Mute? One? No, never heard of that either.
I know The Running Man was based on a short story of his.
Yeah.
Another one,
The
Walk, is being adapted, which is my favorite by his. Yeah. That fucking book, that short story was fucking brutal.
There's the one Creep Show movie where there was like one of the scenes where it was like the teenagers were out swimming in the lake and they're in this like floating pier that was like in the middle of the lake and there was that weird tar thing.
The blob.
Yeah, that blob. That was a Stephen King short story.
Oh, was it? Okay. Yeah, that's fucking. It's cool. So those are the ones made since 2000. Hold on. Oh, here we go. 1982. The Boogeyman was the original one. That was the one he's talking about. Woman in the Room, The Lawnmower Man, 1987. That's got to be the highest grossing.
Yeah.
I didn't know
as a kid.
I didn't know that was a fucking.
I didn't either.
Yeah. But I remember it as a kid, they with the VR effects, the VR effects they had in the.
Yeah.
I bet that shit doesn't hold up too well.
Well, and wasn't that like 1994?
Oh, 87, you said, right?
87. Yeah, it's 87.
The Lawnmower Man movie was in 87?
Yeah.
Jesus, I thought that was a 90s film. No shit.
But it says this might just be some kid made it, you know what I mean? And maybe the Lawnmower Man is an actual, like, this is pretty vague shit right here. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah,
anyway,
Lawnmower Man film series. Okay, 1992 was the first.
Oh, 92.
Cool enough to send that or sell that shit to people who want to practice on something good. You know what I mean? That isn't like if you don't know how to write and shit, but you want to be a filmmaker, you fuck. I'll pay you.
Well,
adapt
and
one of this
ultimately, so much of art is just taking other people's
absolutely
creative ideas and putting your own spin on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why when people talk about derivative music, dude, everything is derivative now. It's all been played. It's all been done.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's why I get real frustrated when people like genre definitions, because like they're just people who are EDM electronic dance music nerds. It's just like I don't know any of these terms that you're throwing at me. Like, play it, and then I can maybe understand what you're saying. But like, that's just an electronic music.
All right.
Fucking retard.
Anyway, what's your guys' favorite? Or actually, let me ask you this: is there a work of comic, anything, book that you think would make an incredible movie?
It hasn't already, I guess.
Yeah, that hasn't already. I think the Graveyard, the Graveyard book by Neil Gaiman would make an incredible fucking movie. Like visual, like a dude like Tim Burton was to make some shit like that, it would look fucking crazy. Because the way that book is written is fucking. It gives you like, I don't know, man, grimy.
Yeah. Has there ever been? Let's be a throwback. And there probably has been some sort of like obscure adaptation, but The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka.
Oh, I'm sure there's got to be something.
Like, I guess I just don't remember any movie that was solely based on that, where it's essentially just this fucking poor bastard wakes up as a big fuck off beetle in a bed, and his whole family is like, what the fuck?
I mean, it could be The Fly.
Like that would be like like a real stretch to think Metamorphosis and The Fly. Whereas like that's how just absurd those Kafka stories are.
Yeah,
was like
there's a 2012 movie.
Is there called Metamorphosis?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Trying to think of like good fucking well-regarded books that haven't already.
We're way over.
Teddy comic? None.
I would say comic. There's a book series I'm reading. It's called the Good Guys series. It's two of the Good Guys and the Bad Guys series. It's pretty much guys from our world been pulled into another world to be heroes, and it's pretty much based off of RPG. You have stats and a sheet you can look at. They're pretty good, cool books. I think it'd be cool that if somebody took like the time to make it into like a Ring style movie, I think it'd be pretty cool. It's got to be done right. You can't do like the fucking who was the M. Night Shyamalan who did the Avatar, the Airbender. He put all three books into one fucking like 2-hour movie. I'm like, you can't do that kind of shit. You can't squeeze all of that material into that.
I do agree with that.
Into that little bit of a time.
Fucking like a one movie is pretty fucking hard for the most part. But
yeah,
anybody else?
Well, I think it would be difficult to do this, but it'd be interested to see something like Stanley Parable, which is a video game that kind of is really like this meta narrator breaking through kind of the genre and whatnot and shaking things up. If that could somehow happen in film and not like to break that mold, like, oh, well, we're going to make this film adaptation and it just has like a very like formulaic feel to it. And somehow that could be broken out where it just like totally surprises you. It's just like, holy shit, what the fuck am I watching here in a novel way? That would be cool. I find a lot of times, you know, with these adaptations and things, it's just, you know, there's a formula. Things are told in like 3 acts and like that Uncharted movie or whatever. And it's just like, it's all right, but whatever. It's kind of, we've seen this before.
So you're a fan of alternative like storytelling? I think if I'm going to invest my time, like if it's just kind of a fuck off thing that I don't want to think about it, it's like, okay, whatever. But if I really want to intensely, I want to be surprised or be like, holy shit, that's kind of cool. That's weird. Like Sandman. Did you watch Sandman?
I didn't watch Sandman.
Oh, that's really good.
No, was that an HBO series?
That was Netflix, actually.
That show was pretty good.
Yeah. All right. We're moving on to the What's Sexy, where we tell you what's sexy and you fucking listen. Oracle. Dolphin
I'm
fucking.
going to pee.
Yeah, so Dolphin is a
fuck these dolphins. I gotta piss.
Right. You got a piss boner. Dolphin is a GameCube and Wii emulator. You can get this on your phone and also get it on your computer, which I've done both, and I've just been super impressed by how well fucking GameCube games hold up when you up-res them. Like, they're really good. It's pretty cool. So I've got, this is the original GameCube. Just, you know, this is what it looks like. Capture off the actual GameCube. And that's, you know, what you would expect. Not too bad. Pretty good frame rate and everything, resolution. But when you up-res that to 4K, it's just
unbelievable.
Well, it's just
Cream
so
your pants. I forgot about my potato child.
Yeah, it's crisp. In a way, you know, you just kind of take the blurriness off of it. And it's like, holy shit, you know, I just have a higher resolution on this, and this still, it holds up really well. And honestly, on a lot of these games, I don't know if I just walked into a room if I would be able to tell the difference between a GameCube game and a Switch game, which is kind of fucking crazy because there's like 20 years between those two systems.
Oh shit!
And yeah, it's really kind of impressive. And
the emulator makes it look that good.
Yeah, and I mean, all you're doing is just up-resing it. It's just a higher resolution. That's it.
Yeah, I guess just like taking the raw data of the game.
Yeah,
and outputting.
Right.
Yeah, we know what up-resing is, Ashtray.
Yeah. So
speaking for our Iranian listeners.
Yeah,
I don't.
The cool thing about the GameCube too, which makes it really good for emulation, is they were on mini DVDs,
little disc, yeah.
So the games are all about 1.1 gigs. They don't get any bigger than that. They can't. That was the space limitation of that. And holy fuck, they did a lot with that. Amount of data, because the same game. So another game that I've been playing on there is the original Splinter Cell. The same game on GameCube is like 3 times the size on the PS2, but it looks better on the GameCube, honestly, which is really impressive. I didn't know the GameCube fucked so hard, you know, like an Eskimo.
Yeah, it was
like
a cool
goddamn Eskimos. They fuck back.
Yeah.
At the time, my favorite two consoles were the PS2 and the GameCube.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So check it out.
Word. All right, Teddy, Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2 for the PS5. Part 1 was fucking awesome. Part 2 takes all of the great things about Part 1 and ups them. You can play as both Spider-Man this time. You can switch between both of them. You have 3 skill trees, one for each of them, and then you also have one in the middle that they can both do. One of the main things I like about this one is they had a lot of like puzzles in the last one, and a lot of sneaking sections to where if you couldn't get caught. In this one, apparently Mary Jane been taking steroids because she can fight back in the stealth sections now, which is pretty cool. And what little puzzles you have to do with circuits and things are fairly limited, and there's not like 12 you have to do in a row. The story is great. I'm only halfway through it. Yeah, I love. Well, nobody here's played the first one. Like, shit, nobody has.
I have.
Okay, you played the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
They've added more ability, more ways to get around the city. They have little his little wind glider wings, his little spider web wings. In certain parts of the city, there are wind tunnels going through to make you go faster. It's a cool little game. So yeah, if you have a PS5, check it out. Just beware of that setup. You'll hear about that here in a little bit.
Yeah, they haven't released that on PC, right? Because they have Spider-Man 1, Miles Morales on,
and then Spider-Man 2, yeah.
Okay, and 2 hasn't released on PC.
Yeah.
All right. Word. Ashtray.
Word to your mother.
Ashtray. Oh. Ashtray's got just a shit-eating grin he's got. You saw. Keep it at that.
What a fucking retarded
not supposed to talk
cop
about
out.
it. You told me to not talk about it. We're already over time.
All right. We're going to talk about my What's Sexy, I guess. Which is that's the link to the website.
Yeah.
If you go into our Messenger, I put what the lights look like. I played I just recorded some shit. My kids got this for me. They basically got me all the stuff to set up my home stereo, and then got me these like LED lights that go on the back of the TV. And there's a sensor that goes on the top of the TV, and it basically reads what's on the TV and kind of gives you a show that extends what's happening almost in the fucking in the show. So like, you could set it to music.
I've heard of these.
Yeah, you could set it to go. The lag is really super fucking minimal. Like it's actually kind of impressive how fast this thing reads the fucking TV and changes.
What amazes me that it reads it straight down, like.
Right.
So does it go through the HDMI port, or how is it picking up the signal?
Through its own camera.
Nope, it's got a little receiver that like tapes to the back of the TV, and then the camera.
Oh.
Like you have to put the camera at the top of your TV, right? This was what I was told, but it faces down.
Okay.
So it's like
down. I mean, the cameras are pointing toward the screen. It reads the whole screen.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But where is that camera placed?
At the top of the TV.
Yeah. So
That's
it's
how
like
it
looking
points
down the edge.
Yeah.
I find it crazy that like imagine yourself standing on the edge of a screen. You would think it would just be so like it would hard to differentiate because you're looking down.
It doesn't hug the screen.
I know it doesn't hug the screen. It's looking down over the top of the screen.
I know, but it's probably an inch off of it, so it's angled back toward it.
So it's like out. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can set each strip because there's 4 strips, obviously along the TV. And you can set each one to different brightness, smoothness. You can set it to go with music. I should have fucking played a Meshuggah concert, and that shit was fucking nuts. Like
it was like I was there.
Like if this thing was flipping out, this thing was probably having a real bad time because there's just fucking lights everywhere. Concerts on these things.
Seizure.
Yeah, dude. Like sometimes it gets jumbled and shit, but it works well for movies so far. Gaming is pretty decent. There's actually a gaming setting. It's a little smoother than the movies. And like, it's really cool when you're racing because in a dark room, you'll be fucking going down the straightaway, like on a dark track, and the lights, every time you pass a light, it'll like, and like,
oh yeah, that's cool.
You know what I mean? Like down it, and like when you pass under bridges and shit, it like blacks everything out in your room. So like it feels that way. It's fucking, it adds a lot to the experience. They're relatively.
You'll never have to leave the house.
$80 to $100.
Yeah, it's not bad.
And I think they're fun. I think my kids have more fun with it than I do, but whatever. All right. Now we're moving on to the fuck what you think. This is where we tell you to fuck off. Oracle.
Yeah. Tell me if there's a paywall. So one of the things that I will check several times a day is Google News, just to kind of see if World War III has popped off yet, or what the new graphics card is doing, or some shit like that. But anyway, so it's this collection of all these fucking articles and whatnot brought in from the internet. But there's just, you'll click on something, you're like, oh, that looks kind of interesting, and you'll start scrolling down, and then bam, you get the fucking paywall thing. It's like, for only blah 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 a month, or for X amount of money for 6 months or whatever. I just wish that there was a little icon or some kind of a disclaimer on the article before you go in there on Google News that says, hey, this is a paywall site. Because you can't, then you got to go back. And then sometimes you're like, okay, well, I'm going to do the next one. And the next one has a fucking paywall. It's like, Jesus Christ, just fucking tell me which ones have a paywall. I'm not that invested. I'm not going to fucking, pay $60 to the San Francisco Chronicle about this goddamn thing. I just want to read, the first paragraph. I just want the tip. That's all I want.
Just the tip.
Right. But
just the tip.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just kind of a bitchy thing, but you would think it would be pretty easy to do. So there you go.
All right. Ashtray. Mustafa's on crack.
Oh,
yeah, so
Mustafa.
Mustafa, my neighbor.
Oh, we know who Mustafa is.
Yeah. No, it's like, you can tell it's like, it's not just drunk Mustafa, stone Mustafa, but it's like, God damn it, Mustafa, like, you're on fucking something.
Could have told you that from the beginning, dude.
Yeah.
No, like, he, like, came in, I'm fucking DJing New Year's Eve at Baldwin, and, like, he comes in trying to basically, like, get the bartenders to be like, yeah, he's getting me a beer. Like, I'm working, right? Like a motherfucking working. And yeah, so it's like him with this all his fucking Muslim fucking quotes and everything, where it's just like
Muslim quotes.
Oh, he's all about,
walks around saying "Assalamu alaikum." I mean, does it offend you?
Oh, so he's the
MashaAllah.
Like
he.
What do they call that thing? Malcolm X thing.
In prison, yeah, he learned his.
He said, "What do you call it, Malcolm X thing in prison?"
Yeah, exactly. In prison, he found Islam.
Nation of Islam.
Anyways, yeah, it's just like he came into the bar and like created this just basically a scene where like I had to fucking chastise him in front of everyone. It's like, you don't fucking come in here like while I'm working and try hustling the bartenders. Like, yeah, you're my fucking neighbor.
Did you do it over a hot mic?
I didn't do it over a hot mic. I did it though over the fucking video slot machines. I fucking leaned him up against it, and I was like,
damn.
He was like on crack because he like someone bumped into him or whatever. He like made after this is what I was just like, here, like, don't try to mooch off them. Like, I gave him $2 to get a fucking cheap PBR, and then like someone bumped into him. It's like it's New Year's fucking Eve. People are dancing, and he's like, "Whoa." I'm like, fucking pushing him up against the video slot machines. I'm like, motherfucker, you just put me in this position. This is my fucking gig. Like, you don't come in here in my fucking show. I've got maybe a minute and 20 seconds to fucking put you in your place, and you be fucking humble. Jesus Christ!
Damn.
You fucking humble. I said I'm sorry.
Somebody
I
needs
said
to be humble.
You fucking shut your mouth. Oh man, I was fucking
I
living.
think somebody.
Damn.
Morgan though was there. Thank God she fucking like walked his ass out because she knows him as well because he's been my fucking crazy fucking Islamic neighbor who gets all like but he's been on something lately. Like where it's like, oh yeah, Mustafa, you're on like crack or some shit or meth. Like what's going on? So anyways, Mustafa, you better watch this episode and recognize.
Right. Teddy, PS5 shits.
You know his blackness alone, where he's on crack and not can beat your ass, right? I'm just.
What's that?
His blackness alone can beat you on crack or not.
Oh sure. Nonetheless, though,
Right,
like
anyway.
you don't come into my fucking show.
We get it. You said your piece. Shut the fuck up. All right, so I got a PS5.
Yeah. Whoa.
I got a PS5.
You were commenting on my piece. I'm sorry.
I know. Yeah, but I we heard about you. Put him in his place. We get it.
Back to the plantation, Blackie.
I got a minute and a half to put you in your place. You get back out in that field, goddammit. Okay, anyway. Okay, all right. So I bought a PS5. And I
So I bought a PS5.
I bought a video
games.
So I bought a PS5. And I brought the bundle, and when I usually buy other bundles of consoles that I've bought in the past, the game usually the game either comes with it or there's a way for you to download it, and the console actually when you set up, that was not there for this. There was a little slip of paper inside the box.
What?
That would have missed that I would have missed had I thrown it up.
Right.
Had to scratch it off, go to the fucking thing, redeem the code. Okay, I'm like, okay, fine, cool. That's weird. Fine. I'm set it up. I put it online. And then I started downloading the game. The game's 110 gigs, Spider-Man 2.
Holy fuck.
So I said, you know what?
Damn.
I said, you know what? I'm gonna plug it into my router. So I plug it in the back of my router. I go take a shower. When I plug it in my router and plug it into my router, it starts downloading. So I go take a shower. So I said it's gonna be like 5 minutes before it's downloaded. I go take a shower. I'll come back downstairs. It's not downloaded. It's telling me I'm not online. And that's because when you plug it in, you have to go and switch it manually to say it's a wired connection.
Oh wow.
So I'm like, what?
First world video
going
game.
on here? Yo, yeah, I'm like, this is retarded. I should be playing right now. Like,
So it stopped.
This is stupid.
So you plugged it in, and
Yes.
since you didn't switch it, it didn't continue on the Wi-Fi. It just fucked in.
It considered the PlayStation to be offline until I went into it and changed it
That's
manually to a
fucked
wired
up.
connection.
Like, why wouldn't it
is
just
fucking retarded.
default to the wireless
do
or
not know.
something?
I do not know. The third and final thing is there's a few more things, but the third and final thing is it comes with a disk drive. There's a disk drive on this thing. It's right there. It's on the fucking side. There's a disk drive right there. You can see it. And this motherfucker.
What's it for?
It's to use discs. But it's
It's for the Crow soundtrack CD you had when you were a teenager.
But so it's supposedly backwards compatible if you have the disc. And I have a lot of old discs, so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna play some old shit. Throw something in there, and it was Ico, my PS3 version of Ico, or maybe it's Shadow of the Colossus. I can't remember which one. But I throw it in there. This drive's not working. You want to know why? Because you have to register the disk drive with the PS5.
What?
You have to register this drive with the PS5 that it came with, that is connected to. Like,
You
I'm
mean
like,
you have
what
to
is going on?
register it.
Dude, that's what the screen said. I don't
The fuck?
Wow.
It was just, these are things that with this day and like this with the console,
This is why I haven't
this
used a
expensive
Sony
in this day and
forever.
age. I don't
That's
understand why
crazy.
they're making this difficult.
Right?
I mean,
That's
it's
the whole.
That's way too much proprietary bullshit.
Yeah, that is the whole
Them-
point
yeah,
of
'cause they
buying a
want people to
goddamn
not
console.
steal the drives out or some shit.
So it fucking works out of the box, and you don't have to think about it. I mean, that's kind of the deal.
And the trouble you guys go through to play video games.
I know, it's horrible, man.
I told my wife, I was like, you guys keep playing them. You know, I gave them up a long time ago, but you guys are addicts.
I feel like Jesus carrying a cross.
Says the guy on the crack. We're addicts.
Somebody's got to play this game long enough to bitch about it.
Right. This cross I bear.
I'm last and least. Aaron Rodgers, sincerely, fuck off, dude.
Explain this dynamic.
He went on Pat McAfee and basically said that when the list comes out of Epstein, like all the people that were on Epstein, you know, on his island or his blah blah blah, that Jimmy Kimmel was going to be on.
Yeah.
So fucking Jimmy Kimmel tweeted at him and actually called him asshole, but with 2 A's, which is just brilliant, right?
Yeah.
So, and he's like, basically, he's like, say my name again, and we'll see what lawyers think. And the next day, fucking Pat McAfee, who is signed by ESPN, who ABC owns, and ABC also owns Kimmel's show, and I guarantee you, Kimmel makes a ton more money for them than fucking Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee literally put a shirt on. That's how serious this was. Dude never wears a shirt. Like, he always wears a wife beater, right?
Yeah, wife beater.
Yeah, legit shirt, and apologized for what Aaron Rodgers said on his show.
Shit.
Yeah, so you know damn well some executive at ABC was like, "Listen, you fucking fuck."
Right.
You're a punter, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
Now, wasn't there some sort of like doctored, like photoshopped dossier that had like IMMIL like after like a redacted? It was basically like they took some redacted court released photos. This is what I read, and that then it was like they put IMML, you know, like half of Kimmel's name to allude that like, oh yeah, look, Kimmel's name is on this dossier or this list, even though like you can prove that was fake.
Aaron Rodgers is a fucking idiot. I don't understand why he doesn't just play fucking football and shut the fuck up.
Because he hurt himself, and now he doesn't get any attention.
Playing football. Other than that, you're a fucking idiot. He's one of. Oh my god, dude.
Oh yeah.
I fucking hate him. I don't understand why people would like this guy.
Someday he'll have his own volleyball scandal and fucking floppy dick pic.
Exactly.
Want to see penis?
Oh, yellow dick.
Oh, yellow. Yeah. God. Remember that episode? Yeah. Oh, yeller. Come back, yeller.
Of course, as stupid as he is, he's still not as bad as fucking Favre. Like, Favre literally built a fucking state out of money. You know what I mean? And then like,
oh yeah, yeah. No, I was saying like Aaron Rodgers will soon have these scandals, and now what we have to laugh about is that when we're on our 750th episode or whatever, we're going to talk about all the scandals that Jordan Love.
Oh yeah,
got into.
Yeah, he's gonna be
like, oh my god, did you hear he transitioned just for a movie and then transitioned back?
Anyway, all right. In all seriousness, go fuck yourself, Mustafa.
Yeah,
that's our show. We're gonna be here every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Make sure you join the conversation at theredeyereport.com or facebook.com/theredeyereport. You can also, never mind. I missed it.
I'm Markle.
This is Ashtray.
And I'm Teddy.
And this is the Red Eye Report.
Boom.
Biggity.